There we go.
Okay, so welcome to the show, and tell us who you are, what you do, where you're from, and all that kind of good stuff.
Okay, I'm Jaime Donally, and that's kind of a loaded question because I do a lot of different things. I am currently working for Atomic Learning, and in their marketing department. I've been in instructional technology, so I'm presenting with them and pretty much doing everything I was. I just joined their team a couple months ago,
Cool.
but do a lot of virtual events. So had started EdCamp Global and EdCamp Global Classrooms and just changed our name to EdChange Global.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah, so we do virtual events, and I've started Global Maker Day, which is also an online event, all virtual for our classrooms to connect around the world. And I also do really invested into an AR, VR, and EDU group.
Oh, yeah.
So starting that hashtag this year on Twitter and doing a chat and talking about augmented and virtual reality. And have a Voxer group that has begun, and we've been collaborating for about a year. And so it stays busy.
You have a lot of things
I
you
know.
have created and or
I don't know
have
who I
begun
am. I'm just
and or
Jaime.
are beginning. I'm like, wow, okay. Holy smokes.
I know. It's been a whirlwind of a couple years, but it's awesome. Joining the Atomic Learning team, at first I was like, so do you want me to go out and present about Atomic Learning? Because I was contributing for them in the past, so I was creating content. No. We want you to keep doing what you're doing, just keep sharing learning and connect with people. And,
That is awesome.
And so it's like, so I get to do what I'm doing during the day. Like, I don't have to stay into the wee hours of the night anymore. Like, no.
That's
Like,
awesome.
and
fantastic.
And you're going to pay me for this.
I know. Wait, I'm not moving to Minnesota. That's okay. You don't have to move to Minnesota. You can work from home. I'm like,
Wow.
all right, this
Hey.
is like the best job ever.
That's
So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you are presenting here.
I am.
So what are you presenting? When are you presenting? Where are you presenting?
Yeah, I'm actually doing 2 different poster
Oh, cool.
sessions,
Okay.
which is going to be really interesting because both sessions have always been like people in the, very active sessions. But so I'm modifying it to give more of an experience for people
Oh,
coming
yeah.
through.
Okay.
One of my sessions tomorrow is augmented and virtual reality. So a little playground of, for people to come and explore kind of the outside of the norm, because everybody's talking about Google Expeditions. Everybody's
Right.
talking about Erasmus. And to me, I'm always intrigued by what else is out there beyond that. So have lots of conversations in that area. So there'll be actually one that has not even been open to the public that I'll be sharing tomorrow from
Wow.
Zapbox. So they're doing some incredible augmented and virtual mixed reality stuff for the classroom. So instead of buying a HoloLens or buying HTC Vive, now we have a $30 option that could be used on the devices we have in the
Wow.
classroom.
Wow.
It's pretty phenomenal.
That's
very
Zapbox?
cool.
Yeah, so tilt brush, like that concept of drawing in 3D is going to be
Yeah.
available in our classrooms in no time. So
That's cool.
I'm
That's very
pumped.
cool.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
So then what's the other one?
The other one is Game Maker. So the way that I've done this session in the past has been kind of a series of objectives. The participants group up, they create games. There's different objectives they have to meet. I give them 5-minute segments, and then there's a table of random junk. They have to take pieces. They're only allowed to get so many items. They come back and build their game. So it takes, lots of problem solving, teamwork, collaboration, critical thinking, and then how does this apply? Every piece required them to really stretch. And then sometimes you have like a loss, like, oh, do you have a sticker? Sorry, you got to move to another team. So you lost a team member, or you gained somebody,
wow.
or gain items if they're new teachers, or, so there's like the game idea of play, but then really putting it to the test and creating. But so tomorrow or Thursday when I do this session, being poster is going to be very different because of course nobody's sitting there the whole time doing that.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm basically bringing out like block souls, and I'm actually going to put out some things for people to create games. So I'll have some, not duct tape, but some scotch tape or something that will lay out maybe a board, and it'll let people maybe do like life-size checkers or something. So it'll be
cool.
very like just kind of like this is the way that you can incorporate some gaming into your classroom without being restricted to having to spend a lot of money, but still applying the gaming concepts. So
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty
yeah,
cool. So,
it'll be fun.
So when the students are divvying out their games,
Mm-hmm.
they're thinking about the games before they even know what pieces they could even use
Exactly.
or parts to make the game.
Yeah, it's super challenging. And
Yeah, I
at
would
first, it's funny
imagine so.
when I'm sharing this with teachers, because I haven't ever done this with kids.
Okay.
I'm doing it with teachers
Oh,
so that they can
they
go
can
out
do
and
it. Sure.
yes.
Okay.
But the teachers that are like those GT teachers that have to have everything in order, they want to have everything planned. It really drives them crazy.
Sure.
It really is,
Sure.
takes some structure for them to get started. But what I just keep pressing through is like, just get through this objective. Stop looking to the big picture. Let's get through this piece. It's almost like that project-based learning. Like, we're looking at everything, and yeah, it's huge. But when
Right.
you look at what you need to get done for this piece, kind of makes it easier. But I think the teamwork and problem solving and being super creative on how are you going to make a spinner? All I see is a tack and and a piece of paper. Well, let's make one. Let's
Right.
do this, and then we'll let it spin on on our board,
Right, yes.
made of a manila folder. So it's just, they just have to come up with creative ways to get kids to play games. But to me, it's like, I don't want teachers doing this. I want the students doing
Right,
this,
right.
and think about the kind of activities and games that they can create given the opportunity.
Yeah.
So
Well, and that's and I think you hit one of the big nails on the head is, talking about, problem solving, problem-based learning, project-based learning. And to me, it sounds like what you're doing with the teachers is helping, especially probably some of those teachers who they might have an idea what, that means, but not really what it means. Well, here they're being thrust in the middle of it. And so hopefully anyway, that might help kind of break down some of the sides of the boxes they try to put kids in, and they go, oh, I can approach this from this other direction, or it's okay to turn the students loose on some things, because some folks are very, like, my students have to go down this lane, and this is the only lane they can go down, and you're like, well, we're going to push them out of that lane a little bit,
Yeah.
So, but that's very cool.
I think the best part about those sessions that have been in the past is that at the end we evaluate the games. So, hey, I want you to play, 5 minutes. You're going to play your own game. Does this function? If it doesn't work, make it work. The next 5 minutes is other people plotting, going and
yes.
looking at these games and getting a chance to explore these games. And I think that's where it's like, okay, which one worked?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that one easily was the winner because it was simple.
Right.
And it was, purposeful, or man, that can really be some great learning. So they're learning from each other. And then what did we do wrong? What did they do wrong? How can we, so there's just, I think it's just great opportunity to really play and learn and explore what can be done in the classroom.
Yeah. Well, and I love that idea of having your peers play your game, because whenever you make something, of course it makes sense in your head. You made it. And like you said, okay, test it out, try it out. Oh yeah, well that didn't work. It didn't quite go the way I thought it was going to. But still, I know what I'm trying to accomplish. If you come and play my game, you don't necessarily know what I was trying to accomplish. So if you come and you don't understand my game, or my game just doesn't work for you in a certain way, then then I have to learn how to think outside of my own brain and say, okay, well, I can see where that didn't make sense to you, so I need to make sure that I fix that before I would, quote unquote, release this to the wild, or whatever ultimately they do with their games.
It's so funny because they don't know that they're going to they don't know they're going to play their own game. They just,
Oh.
all they know is what that 5 minutes objective is.
Oh yeah.
So leading up to it, they really don't have a clue what this is all going to happen. So when I announce, okay, now this 5 minutes, and I have a little crazy video that's a 5-minute video playing while they're, doing their stuff. But this 5 minutes, you're going to let other people come explore, and everybody's like, oh, I'm like, no, I don't want anybody else to see this,
Yeah, so wait
because
a minute,
it's
I'm
like,
sharing this?
I know, but then it's really great conversations afterwards, like you said, really good.
So do they know at the start they're making a game that ultimately that's
It's just called Game Maker, and it's
Okay.
talking about the maker concept, the maker movement, and how you could really take, essentially, you don't have to go out and buy a bunch of stuff to create
Right.
games.
Right.
Let's take the random stuff we have in our desk. Here,
Yeah.
this is all you have. At the beginning, you're given 5 different pieces to make your game. They're like, 5? Well, my board is one piece, so then they're having to
Right.
really adjust. And as we go on and I add new things, I let them go and get 1 or 2 items. So
Yeah.
kind of just gives them, oh, good. I didn't know how we were going to do that.
Right,
Now we have
yes.
a chance to go get that. So, so they don't know what they're getting themselves into other than Game Maker, and most of them don't even realize they're going to play. I think most teachers think, and this is so contrary to how I work, but most teachers think going into sessions that they're going to sit there and get something.
Right.
That sit and get concept
That's
is not me. I can't learn like that. I don't know. Maybe people really enjoy that because they feel uncomfortable trying something, but I think the risk is worth it. When you feel like you went through that process, you can either say, nope, that's not for me, Or, you know what, we could take pieces, or I'm doing that tomorrow. You know,
Right.
you're going to have the
Yes.
variety of teachers
Yes.
that are going to be on different levels, but really getting in there engaged and having somebody talk them through that process. And then I share at the end, here's my game. You take it, you adjust it, and modify it to meet your needs or scratch it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just an
Yeah.
option.
It's really
Very
interesting how many teachers never think of that concept.
Yeah.
Don't you see that a lot when you present this? How many go, I never thought of doing this. This never even crossed my radar. It seems like it's, and you think that they would see it, but I think it brings us back to social media and keeping up with, what your peers are doing around the country and what
Yeah.
people like you were doing. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
it's been a very crazy, drastic ride that is never, it never ends. So you got to start balancing yourself
Yeah.
out. Like, okay, well, where is my investment to go into? But I think being a connected educator is no longer just like a good thing or a good thing for us to have. It's becoming an expectation. We're seeing it in our standards.
Sure.
And we're seeing that our teachers are really going to have to step up and take, just really jump out there. And I think that's what I like about what we've done with EdCamp Global, because it's not saying we're going to tell you exactly what you need to do. All we're saying is we're offering this day. There's people from all over the world. In our past 3 events, we've had 81 countries represented.
Wow.
So to me, it just blows my mind. Here I am in Texas thinking maybe 100 people might join. I
Right.
had no idea
Yeah.
it was going to explode, but there's a need to be connected. And so once people start connecting, they're learning from each other,
Yep.
things that they never would have known had
Yeah.
they done that. So
Yeah, and I think it's very cool where they learn different pieces. You learn different things from different people, but you ultimately, at least hopefully, you get the folks who they've learned this piece and this piece and this piece and this piece, almost like your game thing where, and then a light bulb comes on and goes, wait a minute, I can connect these together, and now I have a new thing based on these other things that I had, taken from these other folks.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So, is that how often does that occur?
I pretty
EdCamp
much just
Global.
put, okay, so EdCamp Global happens during the summer.
Okay.
Now EdChange Global will be for teachers. And
Okay.
so teachers collaborate. Any platform is available. So all we're doing is just saying, here's the day. You tell us what you want to facilitate and how the conversations are going to happen. So we have people periscoping. We have people collaborating by Google Hangout. We have people hanging out with, some people doing Skype, very little, but, that. And then we also have Twitter chats and sometimes even Facebook, so everybody's all over the board. I mean, you have those that are kind of the regular ones that we see more often. Voxer is becoming super popular,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
even connecting in Voxer. But, there's ways that people want to collaborate. And so the person jumping in as a teacher says, what do I feel comfortable with? And once they hop into that, but then they'll see these other platforms and
Yeah.
they'll try it. They're more likely to try it because they feel comfortable with, I'm comfortable with Twitter chats, but I'm not comfortable with jumping on a Google Hangout,
Right,
So,
right.
but by being a part of the event, they kind of take those risks. So every hour there were sessions, and in between the hour, 5 minutes before the session ends, we get onto Periscope and offer challenges. So get them globally connected. So every challenge is like pushing them to try something else or share what they've done or connect with somebody else.
Wow.
And so then we have a ton of different people that connect with us that say, I want to help support this event. And
Yeah.
so, let me go ahead and give you, and everything's digital. So we don't give out any actual item.
Sure.
So we just send it to them, the winners, like every hour that win, So it's been a really cool thing. And then in the middle of the night, because we're going 24
Right.
straight hours.
Sure.
In the middle of the night, we do crazy stuff like dance party or something, and we'll Periscope it, and people will join on and do what's that little kid dance doodle? I can't even think of the name. Go Noodle.
Yeah,
So
Go
Noodle. Yeah,
so we'll have
okay.
like a Go Noodle party or
Yes,
something.
yes.
So that hour, it's like get up, get your brain
Yes,
going. I know you're
yes.
tired. And so there's a lot of different things that we do. That one's a teacher, and then we have a student event that's coming up next month. EdChange Global Classrooms will be it's going to be intense. I think it's going to be a great learning opportunity. We're actually using a platform this time for our kids, just to keep them safe, kind of protected from social media. We trend with our hashtag, and so once we're trending, then we get a lot of trolls jumping in, and so
Yes,
just to
yes.
protect our kids, it was like we don't want to open the doors, and we've done that. And so this go round, I really was wanting to make sure that it was something that it was protected. So we're using a fairly new platform called KikoChat, and it's pretty awesome. It's really awesome. It has all the videos set up through Zoom, and literally went in there, set up 3 sessions. KikoChat just does a fantastic job because all the notes are live right there for every participant. And with Zoom, we can have up to 200 video chats at one time. And they donated, Zoom totally donated for this event for the whole time for us to have. So we're not paying for it. And so it's just, and KikoChat has too.
Cool.
Isn't that awesome?
Very cool.
So everybody's just really invested into the opportunities for classrooms. And it's, our kids are incredible, and these events give them a chance to show how incredible they are.
Sure.
And teachers are blown away. The kids ask the next day, I'm getting emails, when do we get to do this again? You know, so they want an opportunity to be able to have an authentic audience,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
So it's been a cool thing. So next month, EdChange Global Classrooms is happening. It will be really cool.
Awesome.
That is fantastic.
Well, if there's ever anything we can do to